PELAU อะ
Chicken PELAU.
PELAU.
It's a cooking show, so I don't know.
It's true.
What's up, guys? So today we're gonna do some PELAU. This is very similar to jambalaya. It's usually compared to jambalaya, which one is better. So let's do it. Alright, so this is gonna be pretty much the same seasoning as the stew chicken. So I will put measurements in the description, or if you want to go back to the stew chicken video after this one, you could. So we're just gonna start with some salt, some black pepper, shake of Worcestershire sauce. We're gonna put some oyster sauce in this, some ketchup, a little bit of soy sauce. We're gonna use this Goya product here. I have 2 packs right here. We're gonna put both of these in. And then we're gonna go in with our green seasoning. And you're gonna mix this together really well. As usual, I think I said it's in the stew video as well, or any video that I'm gonna season meat. It's always better to leave this to marinate. You know, best is overnight, good is like 2 hours, but any length of time will always help, even if it's just 15 minutes, right? So that's why you find I always start my video with seasoning whatever meat it is. So while I do anything else, this gets a chance to marinate just a little bit. Okay, from here, we're just gonna go straight onto the stove. Okay, so we have a steel pan here. Heat is on high. We're gonna add maybe about a teaspoon of oil. You don't need too much oil for this, okay? You're gonna make sure that oil gets very hot, okay? And then you're gonna go in with your brown sugar. Again, I'm gonna do this as it happens. I'm not gonna speed it up or cut it because this is the most important part. So as you see, the sugar goes in as usual, and it's gonna slowly melt. You can mix it just to make sure the oil and the sugar, you know, get mixed properly. Obviously, the more powerful your stove is, if you're using an electric stove, if you're using a glass top stove, this is all going to happen at different lengths of time. So do not walk away from this part of it, okay? Once you ruin this, you're going to have to wash this pot out and start over again. So pay attention to this part here, okay? So you can see sugar is melted for the most part. Once it's all melted, the next thing is going to happen, it's going to get much lighter. So you'll see this get really light, and then almost immediately it's going to get darker and start bubbling. And once it starts bubbling, that's when you're going to throw in that meat. So you can see here, it gets lighter. You'll see everything get lighter. Okay, well melted. Keep your eyes on it. It's gonna turn lighter and almost expand. You can see the edges getting lighter already. And as usual, be careful. This is extremely hot. So this will give you a really bad burn if this splatters on your hand or anything. So please be careful. So you see it's light, it's expanded, and it's beginning to bubble now. So you give it a second to bubble, and now you're throwing it off. Just try to spread it out. I always give it just 1 or 2 seconds. And then I just mix it. Just to make sure the chicken gets a little bit of coating. Okay, at this point, we're just gonna cover this down. We're gonna leave this for about, let's say, 8 to 10 minutes. So this is just the empty bowl that I use to season my meatine. You see we have all that leftover seasoning. What I'm gonna do in this bowl, I'm gonna add about 2 cups of coconut milk. Okay. It's about 2 cans. Always remember that coconut milk and coconut cream is 2 completely different things, okay? Don't buy a can of coconut cream. It's a can of coconut milk. And then what I'm doing is basically just using this to try to get all the bits of seasoning washed into the bowl. Then I have my chicken powder here. I'm just gonna put some directly into this. If you have chicken stock, you could use chicken stock. Okay, we're gonna mix that together. And now we're gonna add this into the pot. Okay, so it's been about 8 minutes or so. You can see that the chicken has sprung quite a bit of water. We're just going to give it a quick stir, make sure nothing is stuck to the bottom of the pot. Okay, and now that coconut milk, we're just going to pour that straight inside here. And we want to try to get out everything. Give that a stir. Okay, so I like to add maybe about another cup of water to this. And now You're gonna make sure this is on high. You want this to come up to a boil. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes or so. Okay, I'm just gonna take our cover off. Again, give this a stir. Make sure nothing is sticking to the base of the pot. Alright, and now I have about 2.5 cups of washed rice here. This is brown rice, okay? This is a dish best done with brown rice. But if you wanted to, you could use white rice, but you need to really pay attention to just how much liquid you're gonna add. So I probably would hold off on adding the extra cup of water that I added, and you want to pay close attention to it for white rice or basmati or anything like that, because that type of rice, it cooks really quickly and it's going to turn into a mush. So brown rice is generally what people would use. So you add about 2.5 cups of rice to this, give it a stir, and now you basically want to cover it down, turn it down to about medium high, okay? And every 5-10 minutes you want to come and just give it a stir, because the rice, obviously, since it's heavier, it's going to settle at the bottom of the pot. So you do want to check on it ever so often, give it a stir, and pick up any bits of rice that's sticking to the pot. Otherwise it will burn, okay? So that's it. What we'll do is we'll come back in about, let's say 8 to 10 minutes or so, just to see how we're doing. Okay, so it's been about 8 minutes or so. So we're just gonna take out the lid. And again, we're gonna stir, making sure that we run this spoon along the base of the pot to pick up any rice that is stuck to it. As you can see from watching this, the rice is already beginning to, absorb some of this liquid, and everything is just getting a little bit thicker, and that's because of the starch in the rice as well. The reason why I washed the rice earlier is because you don't want too much starch in the rice, because this will just become, too sticky. So you wash it, you take all the extra starch, and then you put it to boil. Okay, again, we're gonna give this another 10 minutes or so and come back to it. Okay, second 10 minutes is up. We're gonna once again give this a stir, and now you can really feel that you have some sticking to the base of the pan, okay? And you can see how much it's boiled down, how much the rice has absorbed water. So again, you want to make sure you really get to the base of the pan and you really take up any bits that's stuck to it. Now it's at this point, about at this stage of thickness, you could go ahead and add a can of let's say pigeon peas, black-eyed peas, black beans. You could add frozen peas to this at this point. Some people add carrots. I've even seen some people add mushrooms at this point. I personally don't add any of that. The traditional way is to add some sort of peas or beans, but I don't. I used to, and then I just tasted it without any of that, and I way prefer it like this. So it's up to you. If you want to try it with beans or peas, you can. If you want to do it exactly like I do it, you can. Another thing people add, for example, is frozen corn. They put it in here at this point as well. Again, all up to you. Okay, so you can see how this is at this point. It's almost like the liquid is almost gone. Okay, there's still some in there, but it's almost gone. So we're gonna turn the heat down to about medium low. Okay, you do want to check just how done your rice is. This chicken is already cooked. It's been like 20 minutes already. But you do need to see how your rice is doing. So you want to get like a grain of rice out of this. And you want to see how cooked it is. Based on that, you will know if you should add some more liquid or not. For me, I'm going to go ahead and add about another 2/3 cup of water that I had set aside. Okay, and it's good practice to not add everything at once, because you can't do anything if it becomes overcooked, right? But at least you can add liquid if it's undercooked. So again, if you were using basmati or jasmine, that's a good practice as well, because it could be that at that point right there, you did not need any more liquid. So now we're at this point, we just added in more liquid. We turn the heat down to about medium. We're gonna cover it back up, leave it for another 10 minutes or so. Okay, so it's been another 10 minutes. Lift the lid, and we can see that it's really thick. We're gonna again scrape the base of the pan, make sure nothing is sticking to it. And once again, we're gonna check just how done the rice is at this point. Okay? Let me just finish checking the base of this pot. Okay, go ahead and check some rice. Okay, so this rice is almost there. At this point, someone could actually, you could take it off. Some people like their rice a little, let's say al dente, so to speak, with a little bite in it. I like it a little softer. So I'm not gonna add more liquid to it. Instead, I'm just gonna turn the heat down to low and cover this down for another 5 minutes or so. Also, what you want to do right here is see if you think this needs more salt. Okay, because remember initially we just put a little salt in there, and that was for the chicken. When you added all the rice, you pretty much spread that salt out through the whole dish. So it's quite possible that you're gonna need some salt added to this. So it's here where you're gonna add to your liking if you want more salt. Okay, once this 5 minutes is up, I'll plate it up and we'll look at the final dish. Just wanted to give you guys a quick view of how it looks when it's done. You know, there's really no liquid or anything like that. The rice have absorbed all the liquid, and that is it. Now it's just a plate and eat. And that's it, guys. Hot pilau. You cannot go wrong with this. Okay, so this goes really well with coleslaw. I didn't make any today, but any homemade or store-bought coleslaw will go really good with this. It's also really good with if you have people over, you're having some drinks, you make this with some hot sauce, it is magnificent, right? Okay guys, thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe and share. See you guys later.